the technical session. Yeah, okay. So hope everybody can see my screen. Yes. So basically, we are from UiPath community Hyderabad. So in UiPath community, we have multiple regions, multiple countries, and also it is very simple. So community.uipath.com/Hyderabad or /Bangalore/Pune, anything, any chapter you can join. And happy to share that Hyderabad is the one of the largest chapter over the globe. So we do conduct online meetups series, sessions like this, and we do conduct a lot of offline meetups as well in Hyderabad, who are presenting your team or your friends who are available to join offline meetups also. We do conduct every month or quite a month. Yeah, you can join. And we are here for the Automation Solution Architect series. And today we are at day one. Last year also we have done this series. This series is mainly driven the automation solution architect, and you can able to learn your journey, start your journeys, and at the AI side. Uh, Let me share something else. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you're able to see my screen, we have almost 20 plus industry experts, and this automation series completely uh, supported by hyperautomation.ai and powered by UiPath community. So we have a lot of other speakers, a lot of other moderators who will be you will be knowing them very soon. So thank you so much for these opportunities, and thank you so much for driving this larger global audience. Without delaying, I would like to hand over my speech to today's moderators. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Nikhil, for the introduction. Hi, all. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining Automation Solution Architect Series 2.0. As Nikhil said, this is the second time we are conducting the session. With the great response, the immense response for the series one, so we thought of conducting series two. So basically, I'm Padmaja, working as a technical lead for Apexon. I'm into UiPath from past 6 years, and within the 6 years of RPA journey, I worked in different roles like support engineer, developer, code lead developer also. And with my knowledge, so basically, I would like to tell you all what is this solution architect series. So to whom this solution architect series is beneficial for. So basically, if you are having an experience of technical knowledge of more than 2 years into UiPath and you're very good at your domain level and you're having a good knowledge on the infrastructure, whatever the resources available, so it's right time to learn something regarding solution architect, and it's a good time to step towards solution architect level, grow into the next level basically. So with that reason, we have a series of sessions lined up on the being AI a buzzword in the tech industry. So we want to unbox what are all the AI capabilities of UiPath, what are the different products of AI products of UiPath available, and also security deployment. So many concepts lined up down the line for the coming 5 days. So I would like to register for each and every session and make best use out of it. And with that note, I would like to introduce my co-moderator, Bhavani. Over to you, Bhavani.
Hi everyone, a very good evening. I am Bhavani Munaga. I am working as senior RPA developer at Broadridge. And coming to my experience, I'm having total 5 years of experience in UiPath. First of all, thank you, Nikhilesh, for this opportunity. I've been part of Women Automation Series 1, and now I am being part of this. Before handing over to speakers, I would like to put a small request. Please do write some post about the session in LinkedIn and do tag speakers and moderators. Thank you, everyone. Speakers, you can take your session. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. So Anil is sharing the screen. Thank you guys for joining this event. And before I go ahead with the session, I would like to thank Hyper Automation AI, who is supporting this event, and also UiPath community for coming forward in order to help this event to go further. And talking about myself, so we have all these. We have seen Bhavani and Padmaja; they are the moderators. So if you have any questions, feel free to put down in the chat, and you can reach out to the moderators at any point of time during the event. They will be supporting and helping you out with all the queries that you have. And also Nikhilesh, he is the chapter leader for Hyderabad chapter. So if you have any questions with respect to events or how to grow in the community, if you're really interested, Nikhilesh is the point of contact for that. And talking about myself, so I am working as a hyper automation consultant in one of the company in Dubai, and I am UiPath MVP for the product UiPath apps for the year 2024. Besides my professional experience, and I also run my YouTube channel, which is a tech channel, and I have created a lot of videos, especially on UiPath apps. And if you are someone who wants to upgrade yourself on UiPath apps, then definitely I would recommend you to go ahead with my channel's content, because there are a lot of things that you can explore from. And besides that, I also give training. So I have done a lot of trainings on for APSS DC and also Government of India. So I have trained a lot of people, especially the college students from different verticals, and how to upskill and train themselves so that they can, without any barrier of any coding experience or any stream that they are into, how they can actually make their careers into UiPath. And I also conduct a lot of webinars, especially on API automation. And if you are a code developer, then definitely there's a lot of content that I actually come up with on my webinars. I usually focuses them. So I have a co-speaker with me who is Anil. So he will be going ahead with the introduction of this series. Anil, yeah, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Harika. So, people coming to my intro, I've been.
Sorry, Anil.
Yeah.
Harika and Anil, if you close 1 second for this PPT and on your video, I think your video is not coming, I guess.
Even my video is not coming.
Yeah. I think you need to close your screen for first 1 minute. I think so.
I believe I can see Harika and myself.
Okay,
it's
1 second. 1 second.
Sure.
Yes, 1 second. Yeah. Yes. Now 1 second. Again, 1 second. 1 second, Anil.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, sorry, you can continue. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. So thanks, Harika, and thanks, moderators, Niklesh, everyone, for this opportunity in the first place. And if you have any questions, do feel free to reach out in the comments. Our moderators are great. They do the job that they're doing for. And coming to my intro, I've been working in IT since 10 years close to, and I've been working on multiple RPA tools, primarily being on UiPath and RPA front is my job. And apart from this, I've been involved in other digital transformations as well. And if anyone are active on forum, you'd see me with Anil G. So you can connect with me on forum anytime. And apart from that, if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram. You have my handles here. Feel free to connect. But I would suggest connect with me on forum itself. That's where I'll be most available every time. So I hope we get to interact a lot. And without any further delay, let me hop into the actual session. So the whole session, all the 5 sessions, we're trying to concentrate more on what we can do with AI in UiPath and what are the new features that are coming in is what we're going to introduce now in the first session. And in the coming sessions, we'll deep dive into each of those features pertaining to how AI can be used and how your data is secured, how different models can be used, or any other details pertaining to each of those things. So coming to our session, first we'll look at how the AI journey has started for for UiPath, and we'll look about each of the products and what are the new generative AI features or specialized AI features that we get in our product suite as well. Okay. So now coming to the journey of UiPath, initially we have had only UiPath was more concentrated on low code automation development, where UiPath started its journey. Then it slightly moved into apps, where we were able to develop smaller apps, lighter apps using our low code app platform as well. Then introduction into test suite happened, where task mining, process mining has come into picture as well. And then we had AI Center and document understanding, which is more called as specialized AI. So before diving into it, let me tell you what specialized AI and generative AI is. So basically, the two branches which look similar but little different in their own sense. Specialized AI is specific for a specific task that you're going to execute, and generative AI can generate new data from the existing data that it has, and it can work on multiple models as well. It's not like specific to one task. So when you come to AI Center or document understanding, most of the models that we have are specific to any task, like the invoice models or language extraction models, etc., which was the initial move into AI, where we started our AI journey as a specialized AI that we are taking into. Then we moved on. Currently, as a buzzword going on, generative AI has been included in most of the platforms that we're seeing. It has penetrated into almost all the products that you see on UiPath as of now. We'll, in short time, we'll look at what are the different AI, generative AI features that have come in, and also we'll touch upon little specialized AI as well, and understand the difference between them from each of the product perspective, so that in the coming sessions we can understand how those have been used and how secured they are, and how we can use it in our daily automations as well. Now, coming to the first part, task mining. Let me give you what is task mining is and what feature has been introduced. So, task mining is basically to analyze your clicks or click level details that are happening on a person's desktop. So, while we are identifying automations, it's pretty difficult for most of the people to get all the details. So, for that, task capture would help you to get your PDDs done, but to understand if that process needs to be done in automation or not, if 20 people are doing that process, how that process is being done, to understand all of that and visually to relate to it, task mining has been introduced, where it will try to get the data from the user's desktop while they're doing the job on any of the sites that they're working on or any of the applications that they're working on, then collate the data, massage the data, then remove the repeated parts, or you manually need to go there, remove those or select those repetitive tasks and then segregate them. Then UiPath visualizes it for you to understand how the process is happening at a whole. So this is what task mining is. So whole of this process itself would take time, right? So that's where UiPath introduced something called as unassisted task mining. So that's where a AI feature has been given to us, where unassisted, it's just that you start your task mining project from your assistant to just capture whatever applications that you would like to capture it for. Then it'll capture all of the data. So these are the different steps that will have that you'll need to do manually in a assisted task mining. But when it comes to unassisted task mining, only collection of data or the first part is what you would do manually, because that's something that you need to tell the process, right? This is the process that I'm looking at. So unassisted task mining can be used on our robots also, which are already running, to understand the difference between how a human does it and how a robot does it. And then from the step two, everything has been done as a AI feature for us, where uh, right by a click of analyze, we'll get to pre-process the data, then segregate the data. AI will try to understand the repetitive steps in it and try to club most of the steps that are coming in, then try to give you the final visualization that you need, which is the 8 steps. So the only step that you do as of now in an assisted task mining would be the step one, and all the remaining steps which are going to be done would be done directly by AI. Do you have a flexibility to change those things? Yes, you do have them, but this is a feature that has been given as where you can click on analyzing that task and it will do all of those steps for you. So this is the first thing which UiPath has introduced, saying unassisted task mining, which is powered by AI, and a specialized AI has been used. So a specialized AI which will support generation of all of these things and segregation of this data has been done. And one thing that needs to be noted here is it consumes close to 5,000 AI units for each of the analysis that it does. So one thing that we need to make sure is we provide enough data to it, and UiPath recommends providing at least 50K steps for it to analyze the data properly. Above that, it's a gift that you're going to get. Okay, so uh, it comes with a cost, but it reduces a lot of time, because normally all of these steps would take close to a week or 2 weeks for group of people to do all of this. But now with AI powered, we can do it immediately, as soon as in a day, as if your availability of AI units is high, and if you're on a on-prem as well, this offering is there, and you can use it as well. It's available in cloud also. Coming to communications mining, so let's understand the difference between task mining, process mining, and communication mining before going into what features or AI features that have coming into it. Task mining works on the user level click data. Process mining will work on the application backend data. So when some application works, it would write all the logs of what it is doing. Process mining would work on that. And coming to communications mining, this has been a new vertical that UiPath has started 2 years back, to be precise, where a specialized model has been given to understand the communication channels that we're going to get. So what is the third way of data that we're going to get? Through emails, through ServiceNow tickets, or through any messages that we get. All of these are communications that we're getting, but insightful action is not directly possible for us to derive from it. So UiPath has introduced something called as communication mining, which will help us understand that inputs that we're getting from different sources, and then produce it as an actionable item for a process to start or process to work on. So as part of that, two generative features have been provided. In this, both the features are using large language models in the backend. First is a generative extractor. So two things that we're going to do in communication mining is, one, we'll be labeling the data. When you say label the data, you're going to segregate those communications based on what kind of communication it is. For example, you're in a lending company where you're lending money to multiple people, and they're requesting you for so and so amount, or few might be repaying the amount, few might be blacklisted for so and so reason. They might be sending emails to you for different reasons. You'd need to segregate those emails first. That segregation of those emails, as this is a refund, this is a request, a new request that we're going to get, those are the different labels that we're going to get, and for which person. So in that email, he would be mentioning, this is the mobile number that you need to reach, this is the lending ID that have been given, etc. Those are the fields that we need to extract for our actions to work on. So generative extractors in the first place are used to extract the field level data on each of your communication channels. Say email for a loan, you're requesting a loan, and you'll be sending your details in an email. So requesting for a loan is your label, and the details that are present, like your name, address, etc., that you're going to use in your process, are your fields that you're going to extract in your communication mining. And for that, manually till date, what we need to do is we need to go into each of the communication, label it, then highlight the fields that we want, and then train the model on top of it to make it understand that these are the fields that are needed. But now we have a new capability called as generative extractors in it, where just by adding all those communications into your UiPath communication mining, you'll get all those suggestions which are fields that it is going to highlight. So most 80% of the task would be done by then, where it will highlight all the fields which it thinks it is important. How does it understand? Because before setting up a project, you'll set up the project and you'll say you're using the project for so and so purpose. Based on the purpose, it will try to understand what are the fields that it would need, and it will try to extract, which will reduce most of your task. And pertaining to that, there are two models that UiPath is using as of now. One is Compath and one is Preview MML. Compath is basically the UiPath powered LLM that is used in the backend, which is the recommended one by UiPath as well to use it. But it only one limitation that you would see under it is it can extract up to 30 fields. If it crosses 30 fields, it would not extract as expected. That is when you can use Preview LLM, which is powered by OpenAI, Microsoft. But again, the preferred one is Compath because that is more trained for this particular instance itself. But Microsoft OpenAI would give you the results still, but it is used only when the number of fields extract 30. So that is when you would use it. But this option is by default available, and you need not enable it anywhere. That once you have a communication mining project set up, it will directly ask you to select either a COM LLM or a Preview LLM, so that you can you get the generative extractor feature in it. And next, the generative annotations. Annotations are nothing but the labels that we're talking about. So basically, segregation of your emails is basically the generative annotations. What are clusters in it? Clusters are nothing but a group of emails which look similar and which are labeled to be similar. Say, for example, I need a loan. I would send need a loan as my subject. Someone would send loan request. Someone else would send something else. All of those are combined as one cluster, and that cluster will be labeled. So this is an option that is there in communication mining manually, where you can group those things and then make it generative, then make it make the labeling on all of them together as well. But that also would take time. That is where generative annotations would help you, and it is powered by Microsoft Azure OpenAI again. In the backend, that's the LLM model that's used. And what it does is, instead of you labeling those clusters, it will provide you the suggestions. It will provide you at the top that what are the suggestions that are available. It's not that you need to click somewhere or select something. So showcase how it looks. So once you go onto the cluster, these are the different clusters. So for the home insurance, everyone are requesting in a different way, but uh, but by reading the description of it and the subject lines of it, it is trying to understand what kind of insurance request it is, and it is suggesting us it's an insurance request, and it's a request for the quote. So they're requesting a quote is what it's saying. So those are the labels that are automatically generated by AI to you, instead of you generating or you applying the labels for each of it. Now coming to the second part, assisted uh, assisted one, or assisted annotations, where you can annotate. So you can annotate or label each of the communication based on each cluster, which is a group of emails, or if you feel few emails are separate and you need to add a separate label to it, there also you can add a label to separate emails as well, or separate communication channels. Here also AI would show you what are the labels that it has identified. It would give you the labels from your taxonomy or your own labels as well as your suggestions, or it will give you new suggestions as well, which are closer to your labels which are created, or the context that is being provided there. So this will help us in many places, because most of the time that you take in communication mining is during your training, discover and explore phases. And because of this help, that time is being reduced a lot, and this will help you get the right labels as well, because the downstream of this process is creating streams and calling processes from there. So that is where we are determined more to do, right? Like rather than going through each of the communication channels, because there's a huge amount of at least 10K records to be labeled and fields to be labeled. Instead of doing that, almost 80 to 90%, which is close to 9,000 to 9,000 odd number, would be labeled by AI automatically for you on communication mining, and remaining 10-20% is what you're going to label on yourself and then correct it and get the data out, which takes pretty less time than what we are expecting when we need to do manually. Okay, this is coming to the communications mining channel, and we're expecting more AI features coming in the future as well to help us more. Let me move on to the next part, which is AI Center. So apart from task mining, process mining, which are the new features, AI Center has been one go for most of the documents or most of the language analysis that we need to do, or text classifications that we do, etc. Specific to document data, we had many challenges previously pertaining to extracting data from unstructured data, or getting data from different table fields, which we used to train using our document understanding model, which is a pre-built specialized AI model which we had previously. And that was supported almost up to 70 to 80% of our tasks, but there are huge number of newer tasks which are coming in, and unstructured data which is coming in. So UiPath has introduced something called as DocPath. This is a new model again in AI Center, which is introduced recently, and which can work on data which is unstructured as well, and with lesser training data. So till now we had to choose document understanding, and we had to go with at least 50 odd documents for each type of the document that we have. But now with the generative AI capabilities, they've introduced a new model called DocPath LLM model, which will use in the backend. It uses a LLM model, a generative LLM model, and will try to understand the document that you're providing, and with lesser number of training set data, it'll try to give you the details. So just to give you an overview on what kind of LLM models are used, it is using Google Flan at the backend. It has chosen encoder decoder architecture. So let me give you a brief difference. Previously, it was a decoder architecture we had in document understanding, where the prime difference between encoder decoder is decoder will only look at the output that it needs. So it will directly read the data and try to generate the output or get the output from the data that it has read. In the encoder decoder architecture, what happens is the encoder first reads the data. It will try to segregate it into a vector DB. And from that vector DB, the decoder module will pick up and then try to understand the data on top of it, and then would produce the required data. This will help in understanding which are the tables separately, and understand more unstructured data as well. And to power it more, UiPath has already trained it over 1 lakh documents, and with a combination of different things. You can learn more about it if you're interested. There's a lot more that's coming on DocPath LLM, which can directly be used in our models in combination with our generative AI features or document understanding features that we have. So this is one of the new features that was coming into AI Center, specifically on document understanding modules. And with this change, we have seen a good change on document understanding as well. So previously, we were able to create a project in document understanding directly, but now if you would see a feature of classic and modern. Classic is basically the older activities that we have, and modern is the new model that has been developed for document understanding specifically. The main difference between both of them would be that classic supports auto fine tuning, and you can retrain the model and all. Modern doesn't support that, but modern does allow you to use DocPath LLM, and also on top of it, other AI features can be used easily. And migration of data is not supported yet in modern. So if you create a project in one of the modern projects in tenant A, the project would reside on tenant A only. You can't move it to other tenants. If you want to move it, you can go with classic, but new with modern we won't have that use, because it is powered by a generative LLM at the backend, which will help us auto fine tune as well. And also the same model can without migration can be retrained on the same tenant itself. So that's the modern features that we're going to get. Because of this modern project, the most of the activity names are similar, but how they're used are a little different now. Previously we had machine learning extractors, we had no, AI extractors and farm extractors, uh, regex based extractors, etc. And in combination, we can extract the data. Coming to modern, it'll directly use the LLM models, and you can all those extractors have been combined into one single activity, where you can use all the extractors together instead of dragging multiple extractors as well. So this has been the major change in document understanding part as well, coming to AI, and these are the generative AI features that they're going to introduce rather than the specialized AI features. Over to you, Harika. Uh,
Yeah. Sure. Thank you so much, Anil. That was really an informative session, and getting to know about what all the features that they've got into all these products when it comes to Gen AI. So let me share my screen before I talk about the integration services, because I would like to share the demo as well before to that. Yeah, just confirm if you can see my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so talking about the integration services, so we all know, like 1 year back, Gen AI, and when we have got the Chat GPT and the Open AI models that have come into existence, we all were very much excited. We have seen a lot of spike with respect to the users that were using the Chat GPT models, right? But with UiPath's Gen AI into integration services, we have a connector which actually gets a Gen AI activities. So this is the connector that we have, UiPath Gen AI activities. This was published by UiPath, and this particular connector that we can actually use in order to perform the common task. So this actually utilizes the large language models behind the scenes in order to perform and get the commonly used task like what we have in the Open AI. So let's say if you have any Chat GPT model, so I'll just show you how we can actually utilize this in real time. In order to utilize this particular UiPath Gen AI activities from the integration services, you don't need any subscription. So if you see over here, there's no subscription is necessary to connect and submit your request for these large language models. All you have to just connect to this particular Gen AI activities, which will redirect to your workspace. So just establish the connection over here, and this will be, letting you to have a connector in your studio itself. So you can see that this particular activity, which is content generation. So we all know that text generation, text completion, these are the major, capabilities that we have with respect to the OpenAI models, right? So we can see over here, it depends on whatever the models that you wanted to choose. You can choose that particular model from this activity, and as I mentioned you, it doesn't actually need any subscription from your end, so you can just choose the model that you wanted to utilize. And here I have prompted it with can you extract data from the documents and what are your capabilities, right? So, and also you can provide the system prompt. So this activity will actually help you to provide a question. You can actually prompt it with what your prompt is. So if you see that this will be very much useful when you have a text, right? So I'll just give you one use case where you can actually utilize this and get the best out of it. So let's say if you have a resume screening, you can pass two text documents inside it. One contains the resume of the employee and other contains the JD. So you can pass both of the text inside this particular prompt, which can actually provide you with an answer of or a percentage of how best that particular employee suits the job description. So this will be one of the best use case that you can impose on a HR department, where you can help streamlining the candidates for a particular role in any organization. So with that, and also if a resume contains a lot of data, right, you can also go ahead for summarized text, which you can pass the resume of the employee, and you can just check getting the summary whether it is in line with the JD or not. So these two are the capabilities or the activities that we can use today in the studio with the integration services that have Gen AI activities. So if I'll just quickly showcase you the output of it as well. With the prompt that I have provided to understand that what are the capabilities of that particular model and how it can actually help me with what all the things that it can actually help me. You can see over here, it has provided me this whole text with the details of what all it can do, right? Extracting the information, summarizing, converting the formats, text analysis, generation of reports, and question and answers, right? So after that, I have asked it with a prompt of summarize this whole text in a single liner. So it can also provide me the summary if I'm having a big chunk of text where it's very difficult to go through the whole information. So it will also provide me the same thing. So these are the different capabilities that we have today with Gen AI in the integration services, which we can directly use without any subscription of OpenAI models, right? So coming to apps, let me showcase a demo on apps as well.
Just to add on top of it, other than generating content, you can generate email contents as well separately, and those can be used in your automations directly. So there are multiple generative capabilities that you would get, other than what you see here as well. So we would urge you to explore all those features together. Go on, Harika.
Okay, let me share my screen back. Apart from the PPT. Okay. Give me a second. I want to stop the presentation and then, yeah. So yeah, talking about the apps. So first of all, we had from the point the VB apps has come into picture, there were a lot of changes that we can see every single month. The app stream has been, coming up with new updates and integrations onto our UiPath apps. So with the same, acceleration, we have autopilot for apps. So how it can actually be utilized and how we can leverage this particular feature in UiPath apps is something that I wanted to showcase along with a demo. So first of all, if you see on this particular screen, there are a lot of options actually. So you can just provide a prompt which can generate an app by itself. And also, if you observe, there is a create entity feature. That means if, let's say, your particular app has any entity that it has actually linked. So today we are actually creating the entity and we are linking that particular entity into our apps, and we are doing manipulations on top of the app. Let's say you create an entity record, or you update that particular entity record, or you delete it, right? But today with the autopilot, whatever the app that you're creating, if that details has to be either pushed into your entity or you have to retrieve it from your entity, autopilot is smart enough to create the entity with the fields that it actually have inside the app. So how it is actually done is something that I'm going to showcase you. And also, if you see here, the prompt says drop a PDF or image that describes the app you would like to create, right? So you can also create an app that looks like, you can give reference of it. Let's say there's a login application, or there is a cart, there is an application like a shopping site or something that you wanted to create, something that has a reference in your mind. So you can just put up that particular file as well, and you can ask the autopilot to create an app which looks like this particular screenshot or image or a PDF. So this actually supports PDF and image, so you can put up that particular file, so it will create something of that sort for you. So if you see here, now I will create an employee information collection app, and I will also check this create entity. So we will see how the app looks like and what all the different fields that it can actually create in my data service entity as well. So talking about this, there are actually two sides of it that I can actually think about. So one, it actually eases the development. So it will build an app right from the scratch, and on top of it, you can do the customization as per your requirement or your business needs. And the second thing is, let's say if you're a beginner into the app development, you might not know what fields that you can put up, let's say in consideration with respect to the layouts. So you can understand by using this autopilot feature that how you can create a particular app, what all the things that you can consider when it comes to presentation layer. Because app is not only about the technical data flow, it's also about the presentation layer. So when you create an app, UI and UX are equally important as that of the data that you bring into the app and you take from the app. So if you see over here, within seconds my app has got created by the prompt that I have given. And also, if you see here, the entity has got created. So if you see, these are the different These are the different fields that my entity actually contains today, right? So even if I am going to create, it would be the same, right? So on top of it, I can make the changes of the fields that are generated by my autopilot. So let's go ahead and see how the app is looking like. So you can see over here. So let's say if I'm a beginner and if I don't know how to create an app, this clearly gives me an idea of how to use a container, how to keep the different text boxes inside the container. And just going a step further, if you see the submit button, and if I go inside the rules of the submit button, it's very clearly tagged, right? The data binding is very clearly and perfectly done. So as a beginner, I can see how the data binding is happening, how the events have been configured, and all these things, right? So this has almost done a lot of things, on top of which I can go ahead and change the things which I actually don't need. So let's say if I don't need information like work hours or benefits or something like that, I can just remove and customize as I need. But if you see on a high level, just with a few seconds of prompt, it has created me the UI of the app. It has actually done the value data binding, and it has also created me the entities of that particular app. So this is one really good feature which I can see that which leverages and accelerates the development efforts, as well as it will become a guide for someone who is actually starting their journey towards UiPath apps. And yeah, not just that, let me also show you one more place where we can actually use the Gen AI capabilities. Let me in the expression editor. So let's say today if you wanted to create an expression or customize a text, right? So you can go over here and there is this option which actually help you to create a prompt. So you can create a prompt which will help you to get the data from the user, or which can actually put you some expression over here that will if you don't know the syntax of how to put that in, right? So you can just provide that expression over here, which will create that value and it can be showcased. So let me showcase the demo that I have created for the same. So if you see over here, I have given a prompt for the expression to collect the values from full name and the email. So you have different fields of the full name and the email across the app. And if you wanted to fetch the details, and as a beginner, if you don't know how to do that particular operation, then this will be the go-to guide for you just providing the prompt as per your requirement, and the expression you can see towards your left side that has been generated by the Gen AI and it is provided over here. So if there are any recommendations also it will be, or if there are any errors that it would ask you to adjust, that will be shown over here, which you can make the adjustments accordingly. So that's these are the two areas where we can actually do the changes with respect to UiPath apps. And coming to Studio, so let me showcase you what are the different places where we can utilize the Gen AI capabilities in Studio. So I will just showcase you what are the different options that we have. So in the Studio, if you see here, so mostly, let's say if I'm working in any automation in an organization, so we will have certain kind of workflows. So for example, if you see here, send email, right? So for sending email, more or less we use the same kind of template, or we use a reusable component across the organization, or let's say login into an particular application. So for such kind of reusable components or such kind of workflows, you can ask autopilot in order to generate a workflow. So how this can actually be done? So if you go to your workflow, any of your workflows, and then you can just ask your autopilot to generate a workflow for sending an email. So just if you just ask the autopilot, it will be creating you the workflow in just few seconds. Right? So it's working on that particular email. So yeah, there's a cap on that, which I have utilized. So I need to wait for certain time. So that's why I have taken a snippet of it to showcase you how this actually works. Because in worst case, if I cannot utilize or showcase you the demo. So once after you've done that, you will be getting this particular sequence, which will provide you with the steps. So it will just on a high level, it will showcase you on a the workflow that it is going to generate, right? And if you see, once after I confirm, so in the previous step, I have a confirm button. So on a high level, if you think that this is what your workflow should look like, once after you click on this confirm button, it will generate you with all the activities that you should be using in order to send an email. So it will be providing you the rough template where you can put in your fields like the to address and the CC and what is the subject that you wanted to put across to send over the mails. And also, if you see, the good part of it is it also included the validations, right? So in every automation that we do, we ensure that it is properly handled with covering all the scenarios of the validations, right? So we can see here if the output generated output is not nothing, so it is actually covering the steps of the validations as well in order to ensure that it is not missing out anything in that particular workflow. So the same thing, applies for Studio Web as well. So you in the Studio Web as well, when you go to the template section, we have an option to generate with autopilot. So you can just click on that by providing the prompt that you wanted to utilize. So here I have provided generate a workflow to receive all mails with subject that contains insurance. So once after you click on generate with autopilot, it will be running and it will be providing you the workflow. So this is the suggested workflow. Just like how we have it in the studio, it will also suggest you the workflow. So here, if you see in the studio, I was sending the mail. Here it is receiving all the mails that contains insurance, right? So here we can see it gets, first of all, it gets all the emails from Outlook. And for each email, it is checking if the subject contains insurance. And based on that, it is filtering it out, right? So and before I go to test suite, I also wanted to talk about one other common feature that we have in the studio with respect to the expression editor that I've shown in the apps. So similar to that, we also have something in the, let me show. So if you see over here, even the expression editor page has something with respect to the natural language model. So here you can just provide the prompt that you wanted to give, and let's say you wanted to reverse a particular number, right? So you can just ask to create an expression that reverses the string or to add to sum up the string, right? So whatever the expression that you want. So let's say you wanted to understand the regex format for certain to extract certain value from that particular string, you can provide the prompt over here and ask it to generate that. It will provide the prompt exactly. So you can, as I mentioned in the apps, like how we are doing it, we can the expression will be generated and it will also provide you the leverage to customize it as per your need. So that's one more area where you can actually do this. And yeah, coming to test suite, so there is one more thing that I wanted to add in with respect to the studio, but I would cover it together with the test suite. So talking about the test suite, I'm navigating to the test manager. So let's say you have a project, the test suite, and then inside the requirements, so let's say you have a certain requirements, whether it is to test certain steps inside the process. Let's say in my case, if I wanted to test the login functionality, so I would have a lot of test cases. I need a lot of test cases in order to test end to end of that particular segment, right? So in such cases, you can actually create the requirement over here. So let's say you give something like TC2, and then you can describe what is the requirement, like test end-to-end functionality of login page. Okay. and then just create this particular test case. So once after you go inside this, so you can see here you have an option to generate tests using autopilot, right? So once after you click on generate test, okay, so I'm unable to show you because I have reached the cap of it because I was just doing some demos. But I can show you in the PPT like how it will actually help you to create the test cases. So if once after you click on generate test over here, so it will provide you with this particular tab. So it will provide you with this particular tab where you can actually provide some supporting documents. So let's say you have your PDT or you have any of the file that contains an information about the application that you're testing. So you can provide that particular file. So if you see here, the supported file types are all these. So you can provide the file in any of the supported formats. So once after you provide it, and you can also give the prompt. So it can be generic or it will be some standard types of prompts are also there. You can provide that prompt. Once after you provide the prompt and you click on generate, it will take some time in order to generate. So if you see here, it is providing me with different test cases that I can utilize. So verify successful login, validate login with incorrect password. So these are the different test cases that I can utilize in order to ensure that my testing has been done end to end for the login functionality, right? So like this, you can use the generate autopilot for the testing in test manager. But you can also use it. So let's say, as I mentioned you, that you can also use the coded workflows, right? So here, I'm sure I'm not able to showcase the demo for this, but here the workflow that you can see here is something that I've generated using autopilot. So this is the prompt that I have provided. So let's say you have a coded workflow, and if you wanted to generate some coded workflow in order to cover some scenarios or cover some part of the logic. So how you can do with the existing coded workflow, you can just right click on the workflow, and there's an option called generate code, right? So just click on the generate code, and here you can create the prompt and just click on the generate. That will help ensure that it will create the workflow like this. So if you see, this is the workflow that I've just created, and this contains so this is the login workflow that I've created for a web application. So if you see, this has asked with the username, password, and the login button, and it also has some exception handling inside it. So this is how you can actually create the coded workflows as well in the studio. So these are the different capabilities that we have using the Gen AI, which will definitely speed up the development process, because we don't there will be a lot of cases. In many of the cases we will come across where we are doing the repetitive task, whether it can be login or whether it can be sending mails or all these things. So in most of the cases we ensure that we do this work reduction by using reusable components and all. But this is also one major advantage. Let's say if you have to create, so let's say the app that I have just created, it has created the entity as well. If I'm creating something from the very first time, then generative AI can actually put down a lot of work that you can do, and it will help you to concentrate on more reliable and relative tasks. So you can just go ahead with customization as per your business requirement, and it will also help you to leverage and accelerate your development. So these are the different features that we have with respect to Gen AI across all these different products. And yeah, so if you have any
Just to
questions, we can.
Yeah, just to summarize on it, if you see, every product has its own generative AI feature that UiPath has embedded into. The reason why it is doing, or why we are going to do it, is to accelerate our automations from every possible angle. If you see in any product that is there now, we have a generative AI feature just for the same reason. From the very small to the very big, the main aim of it is to give a autopilot for everyone, for every use case, and for every kind of application that you're going to use on your path, to make our life simple as an automation developer. You're not only going to do one specific automation, but you're going to do end-to-end automations now, and more generative capabilities will help in getting more automations done as well. Hope this had given you at least a nice overview of all the products and the features that you have. If you have any further questions, do feel free to ask us the questions now, or we'll move on to the next part of it. Okay. Maybe our moderators have done great job in replying to everyone as well. So we have no questions as such. Thank you for that. Maybe we can move on to the next part, Harika.
Yeah, sure. So I believe we have given the most of the session, and I also believe that you all were. I can see there is a good number of participants. So we are going ahead with the small quiz session. So Padmaja, you wanted to add anything before I go ahead?
Before we move on, before we jump into the quiz session, participants, would you please come on camera so that we can take a good picture and we'll post on LinkedIn? Come on, guys, show some energy. Done for the day? No energy at all? Oh, sorry. Let me enable that.
Yeah,
Thank you,
please.
Piyush, for letting me know.
Thanks, everyone. We see your enthusiasm to come onto camera, and we want you to come on as well now.
I think you can remove the spotlight if it's on, or unpin, so that we can have everyone on the same gallery.
Yep, just give me a moment. Nikhil, would you help me enabling this camera rights? I'm unable to do this. Meanwhile, I'll work on this camera. Let's start with the quiz session. Sorry for the interruption. I'll be posting the Mentimeter link in the chat window. Please open the link and scan the QR or enter the code which I'm going to put in the chat.
So
the
before we go
fastest,
to quiz, Padmaja, we have any goodies for the winners, or
yeah, I'm coming to the same point. So the fastest finger will get the goodies, and you can post your address so that we'll work on sending you the goodies.
so now I think everyone should be excited because we have the goodies also.
Yes.
Let me share my screen.
So please open the Mentimeter link.
You can also scan this QR code to join, or you can use the code that Padmaja shared in the chat.
Please use this code to join. All right, let's begin with the quiz.
So we have 46 players.
I guess we
Um,
will need to get more participants also, right? There are
yes.
almost 87 people. There are goodies available
Yeah.
for everyone. So feel free to come on and join it and get your goodies.
There's no fine for wrong answer. So it's free. You all can join.
Even if you're wrong, you just need to hope others are also wrong. That's it. You'll still win.
Yeah. Just give a couple of minutes and then we'll go ahead.
Yeah, let's give them a minute. Maybe in a minute we'll start. We're at 48. I see 88 participants. So almost 40 players are not there.
Is anyone facing any trouble joining in? You can take help from moderators. To type in the chat, they will be there to support you.
Uh, Please try the code that is displayed on the screen. That's the code that you need to enter in your Mentimeter. It's there on the top center. Whoever is not able to join.
Okay, I think we have a good number of people, but before that, right now, can you check audience? You have the video option on from your end. Everybody can turn on their videos. If just check. As I see quite people on their videos. Is it for everybody or speak? I mean, audience can able to see the videos or are able to on the video. You are able to. Okay, good. I think Padmaja, you can take over the. Okay, if you don't, you have. Okay, I think you have. 1 second, Padmaja. Um,
We have the magic number 60 as well.
Padmaja, sorry. Okay, yeah. This glitches will be happen, guys. Sorry for the day one. Yeah. No problem, guys. You please concentrate on I mean audience and Padmaja and that's Karika who is sharing. They can concentrate on the main thing. Before starting the questions, please tell them how they wanted to do the Mentimeter. And Padmaja, you can take over. I think you have the access now.
Yep. Thanks, Nikhil, for assisting in this. So, guys, you will get the question on the screen, and once you scan the QR or you log in through the code, you'll get the option. You need to hit the button, choose the right option on your mobile or from wherever you scanned it, and results will be displayed on the screen.
Fast fingers win. Fast fingers get more points too.
So, the fastest finger will get the goodie. Let me see who's going to be the one.
Just a correction, fastest right option.
You made it difficult then.
Okay, so shall we go ahead? Yeah, on the screen. Yes, so we can see there are 11 correct answers for this, and then let's go ahead with the next question. And before to that, we can see the leadership leaderboard as well. So yeah. Okay, that's nice. 35 people have given correct answer. Let's go to the leaderboard.
All right, good job, Ashish.
Let's go ahead for the next one. Nice. So let's go with the next question.
It's time with the correct answer, Snejit.
So it's the last question, and it is the deciding question of the winner. Perfect. So it's good to see 43 members have given the right answer. So now this will help us find out the winner. Okay, so it's a tie. Now the moderator is gonna take the judgment.
Right. Let's have a tiebreaker or let's declare both as a winners.
We need two winners.
Right. Who is Ashish?
Yes.
Could you please
Yeah.
come on the camera?
Congratulations, Frosty and Ashish. So, if it is a real name, Frosty, we would like to know your real name. And Ashish, okay, Ashish, congratulations, both of you. You will be the winners for this two session. Hearty congratulations. I request you both come on picture, and I think you have the option to even on your video. Okay, if it is okay, leaderboard is done, cannot unmute. Okay, let me. Okay, some who is sharing the screen, they can stop the screen. Yes, Ashish, I think you are there now. Congratulations. So you please, I mean,
Yes.
okay. If somebody is on, I mean, can stop their screen who is sharing that.
Yeah, just a
Yes.
moment.
Yes, Ashish, hearty congratulations.
Who is Frosty, by the
Yeah.
way?
Hey, I'm Frosty. I didn't get time to change my name, so Aniket
No
here.
problem. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Aniket, and thank you, Ashish. So, would you like to talk about 1 minute, or I mean, below 30 seconds about how is the session, and yeah, it will help us definitely. And
Yes, the session was very interactive and very much informative. Also, I got to know a lot of things related UiPath apps. Actually, I have asked so many questions in the chats as well. So, thank you for answering that.
yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Padmaja. You can take the pictures on your computer who was on the cameras and all. Yeah, happy to see all your happy faces. Really, thank you so much. And before we close, any other speakers or any other moderators who are available in the session for today? I think Sripad is there. Yeah, other Raghava is there. Yes. Anybody wanted to talk for 1 minute, or how is the session? And yeah, Padmaja, between you can take some pictures, good pictures.
I'm done taking the pictures.
Okay. Yeah, really happy to see 80 plus people till last. And I would like to congratulate and thank you, Harika and Anil, for delivering the deliberate session on AI. Definitely, it's an eye-open session for the guys who wanted to learn AI, and this series will definitely help. And request Padma to send day two session also. If any, I guess Aniket and Mr. Frosty can send your details to my email ID. My moderator will give you. It is nikhil.rp@gmail.com, and request everybody to please register for tomorrow's session. Tomorrow will be one more interesting session and one more interesting speaker you will address. Yeah. Anybody wanted to end with a sweet note? Not from speakers, not from moderators, any other else who are in the session? I think you have the option to unmute as well. Yes.
Hey, hi Niklesh, myself Raghava.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, first of all, very great thanks to you again. Last year you have done this women hyper automation, and now this year again came back with this wonderful solution architect series. Thank you so much, and thank you Harika and Anil for the wonderful session. Many questions popped out, and even Padmaja and Pavani as well. Thank you so much, and yeah, looking forward for the day two. Thank you.
Yeah, I think yeah. Thank you so much, Raghu, and all. Yeah, any
So
closing
I
note from
have given
Harika?
the
Yes.
registration link for day two in the chat.
Mm.
Please register for the session and make RSVP. And in case
Yes.
if you miss out any sessions, please go through the recordings. We have recordings available in Niklesh YouTube channel and using the same link.
Yeah, same link you will get the recordings. And I request, for example, you are here for one session, you are spending 1 hour of time, the 1.5 hour of time. Definitely, you might know or you might learn some new topics. Request to share the same experience, your feedback, your experience in the sessions about the speakers, about the moderators uh, in LinkedIn small post. So it will definitely help us to bring lot more speakers, lot more sessions on AI, especially. Yes, yeah, and special thanks to again all the speakers for taking that or a busy schedule, taking their time in their busy schedule and coming up with this wonderful AI at Work series. Yes, I think we are very, very good. Thank you so much for this day. It was a lovely day. If anybody is not having anything, I think we are very good. You can, before closing, you can access the link, same link, day two, I mean, the other link in the group chat. And winners, congratulations. You have my email ID. Please do send. Recordings, don't worry. It will get after 1 week with the same links. Yes, anything from Harika and Anil, Sripad, or anybody else? Or we could.
Nothing more, but Harika and Anil, wonderful session. Me sitting at the other end, I think even I couldn't clear the quiz. So I think there is a lot to learn. And I think the tempo is very high. I don't know. I have a session on day 4 or day 3 somewhere, but unfortunately, I don't have any presentation like you guys. It's all going to be a strategic discussion. So I don't know how this is going to be, but yes, quite a fantastic crowd, a lot of engagement, and I think this Gen AI thing is boiling up. People should really watch for it. More than the session, I think you guys should start implementing small tasks and tag it to these sessions so that it really showcases what you have learned and how you have implemented. I think that will really give a lot of benefit to the speakers on the good work delivered. So, looking forward to the Hyderabad community to contribute as usual. And I think this session is really doing a lot of sense to the folks out there. So, keep learning, and if you hate it, just go and automate it. That's how it should be.
Great,
Yeah.
great. On a closing note, everyone, please do RSVP to the next sessions as well because we have lined up great speakers. One, you have already heard Sripad right now speaking. He'll be doing a great session on his day as well. Rather, it be a more interactive one than what we'll do now, and you'll learn about how you're going to, secure your AI or your data using AI and how you can leverage all the models, how you're going to use different features in your path. Everything is covered in the series. So please do RSVP, and we hope we have given you a nice overview of what products are there and you got a better understanding. But we do urge you to go and check out each of those features as well, because that is when you'll get to learn more about them and you'll actually use them in your automations. Thank you.
I think, yeah, really thank you. Anything from Harika for a closing note or good?
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for being very interactive throughout the session and also participating with a lot of enthusiasm in the quiz. Congratulations, both the winners, and it's good to see the ties all the time. And it's always a pleasure to be part of Hyderabad community because it is always, the most biggest community and also always being so energized. And thank you so much, Nikhil, for making me part of this event and looking forward for many more. And also RSVP for the next events because we have a lot of informative sessions lined up. So don't miss to register and be part of that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think we have a great session and see you tomorrow, same time, 8:30 p.m. IST. Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Till next time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You all.